Namaste and welcome to this episode of the Thursday Thoughts. As per the study conducted by the United Nations in the year 2018, for the first time in the history of humankind, the population of human beings having age more than 65 years has outnumbered that of children below 5 years of age. Yeah, that is quite obvious when you start thinking about it because science and the whole humanity is working hard to find out ways to lengthen our lives and enjoy our lengthy lives at the same time. And why not? When you can live happily, live longer happily, what else is required? So now we'll find more and more people are living beyond their 60s, 70s, 80s, and even 90s. And that's a good sign that tells you that things are moving in the positive direction, but that comes with a responsibility for the younger generation. I always found myself, when I look at the kids, I think I'm old enough. And when I look at the elderly people, I think I'm young. So there is always a confusion the present generation faces. It feels older than the younger generation and younger than the older generation, but it cannot shrug off its responsibility of taking care of the elderly people because now we are going to find more and more of those elderly people. And not only that, the elderly people are the living examples for us who tell us how to live life happily and healthily and face adversaries in a more positive way and face hurdles in their lives so that they are happily living even today. So we have to take care of these elderly people in our societies, in our generation as well, of our generation or our generation above us, that is elderly generation. So we are going to discuss a few points. Not that again I'm an expert in that. I just thought a few points that I have gathered throughout my life, reading from here and there, listening to people, and thinking about it. So, first thing is that as you grow old, as the joke goes around, you know that you know everything, but everybody thinks you know nothing. They don't need any advice from you. So, that sort of an isolated feeling will creep into yourself. So, when you are growing old, which every one of us is inevitably heading towards sooner or later, we should make sure that there are enough opportunities for the elderly generation, the people from the elderly generation, not to be felt isolated or left out. They are always part of our lives. Just imagine if the seniors, if our elders would not have taken care of us, where we would have been? Absolutely, there is no chance for us to exist in case our elderly generation has not bothered to take care of us. So it's now our time to take care of the elderly people. And at the same time, we are also slowly stepping towards that. So it is all the more required for us to remind our younger generation that we may also become sooner than later an elderly person for them. So it is very important for us to manifest that yes, we have done it in our lives, we have done it in our generation. Now it's up to your generation to take care of about the elderly people in your lives. So one thing is that make sure that they are part of your discussions, of daily discussions, and they are always consulted with. Anything, any major decision you are going to take, you can make them party to your discussions. Take advice from them. After all, they have lived through this. They have got all the experience of living life 20, 30 years ago, the way they have lived, and they have lived it almost to perfection so that they are alive even today. They are the live examples of facing problems or encountering problems and how to overcome those. So, this is a very good idea to include them in our decision making and keep them as advisors and consult them as and when you feel it's required, and more than when it is you feel required, more often than not. That is what I wanted to tell. So include them in all our discussions, in all our daily life decisions making, and we'll find that our decision making is headed by a group of people who are more knowledgeable, experienced, and who have more wisdom than each one of us. I think that pays. It will take you in a right direction, definitely. Secondly, make sure that they are having enough time to spend with their contemporaries. Yes, if you go to a park, of course, nowadays the sight is very, very rare, but any like a small gathering in a park, you'll find that people of same ages they flock together. Kids play with kids, and if you belong to a younger generation, 30s, 40s, you catch on to one of your friends of your generation and talk to him about the latest book that you have read, or latest movie that you have seen, or the latest news item that you have read. And the elderly people will start talking about, oh, हमारे ज़माने में ऐसा होता था. So it is always good to make sure that our elderly generation people find time and find enough occasions to spend time with the people of their own generations. That will enable them to remember so many things which were started fading in their memories. Yes, their childhood days, their younger days. Ah, you remember we met in that college for the first time. Then we became friends. You were also very much a cricket follower. I too was very a cricket lover. So that is how the things will start. The discussions will start and the friendship will grow, and you will find that their younger days have come back. They will live more happily. So make sure that there is an elderly club where they visit more frequently, and you also make sure you visit once in a while, so that you also will keep your memories fresh of your childhood, of your younger days, because through them we can see our childhood. This is how we should relive our olden days, our childhood days through their eyes, their experiences. And again, one more important thing is we should make sure that they spend more time with their grandchildren. May not be direct grandchildren, but youngsters, kids, that will make them feel much more younger than what they are. They will come out of their cocoons, they'll come out of their isolation and play open heartedly. They will enjoy maximum with their kids if they are found in the park or any gathering. So making them meet the small kids also makes a lot of useful or quality time spending for them, and that keeps them very much alive, very much positively. So it is in a nutshell to say that it is like you meet people of your own time or your contemporaries, meet people who are younger to you, and meet people who are kids. That means you are meeting life. Your life days are reflected through them. So you feel young all over again. It is said that you don't stop playing if you grow old. You grow old because you have stopped playing. Yes, playing physical sports or games like shuttle badminton or a cricket or tennis ball cricket or a table tennis with an elderly person makes real sense. He will feel younger all over again. Nowadays, you're finding the elderly teams of India, West Indies, Australia cricket teams, they are playing. It is such a beautiful thing that is happening around us. So make sure that they keep playing whatever way they want to play. but they should be in touch with their favorite games and sports and favorite pastime. They should meet their friends, discuss about stories that they have read or movies that they have seen in their childhood. And this is how we make them feel that their stories are important in our lives. So that is how they can relive their memories. And they keep telling, we should ask them our childhood stories from them. What happened when I was in class 1? You can ask your uncle or auntie who you happen to meet after a long time, and you make sure you'll be really happy to know that they had taken care so much that they remember those stories so vividly, and you can live your childhood through their stories. It's a sense of belonging that is important for people of all ages. A small kid feels that it belongs to a group when you start playing with it, whatever may be your age or your gender. It just doesn't bother. It never bothers about it. But that fellow feeling, the feeling of togetherness, the bondage of being together is very important. We should make sure that that is what is provided to this generation who have taken care of each one of us when we were young kids. And whenever I see a small kid sleeping on the shoulder of an elderly person, maybe a lady or maybe a grandfather, or maybe a father or maybe a mother on her lap, I am reminded that, yeah, I would have slept like this on so many people's shoulder, and I don't even know them, I don't even remember them. So that's how, when the time comes for us to stretch a hand of not helping, we are helping ourselves by staying in touch with our future elderly generation. So that is how I feel about it. And I'm sure you will be knowing much more ways of keeping in touch with our elderly generation, and praying God for the elderly generation people, because they have given us our today, and we should make sure that we give a better tomorrow for our children or our grandchildren. That's all, ladies and gentlemen. Bye bye. Take care. May God bless you with all your endeavors. Till we meet next time again.